playing it. Just watch this. Let the pictures tell you everything. This is special.
This is Sky Sports Live. The Super League on Sky Sports in association with Stan James, the sports bookmaker, whatever your sport.
NRL Sunday is back in action on Sunday with the feature match between the Roosters and the Bulldogs, plus all the tries from round 9 in the NRL. That's on Sky Sports Extra from 10 a.m. Right now it's Super League time again as the Huddersfield Giants face a daunting task against the runaway competition leaders and unbeaten St Helens here at the Gal Farm Stadium. The Giants hoping to halt their losing run, the Saints chasing a Super League record of successive wins. Well, here we are at the birthplace of rugby league, the George Hotel, just a stone's throw away, and I'm sure we are in for another exciting night from the Super League. Eddie Hemmings is having a night off. It's my pleasure to be with you here, and I'm in the company of Ian Millwood, who's enjoying some R&R away from the rigours of top-flight Super League right now. We'll chat to Ian very shortly. First, though, let's catch up on highlights from all the action in round 13 from the Super League on Friday night with Rod Studd.
St Helens will kick off tonight with their lead at the top trimmed to 4 points after Leeds beat Harlequins at Headingley. It wasn't vintage Rhinos, but they did enough. Danny Maguire's 17th try of the season started the ball rolling, and Willie Poaching's touchdown made it 12-0 within the first 10 minutes. Rob Burrow with a try assist there. Quins arrived in Leeds on a run of 3 wins in 4 matches and responded with a solo score from Mark McLinden. An electrifying turn of pace took him clear from inside his own half, and there was no catching him. Henry Paul converted. He finished with 4 goals, and Tony Ray was full of praise for his new signing. But by half-time, his team were trailing 24-6, thanks to a quick-fire short-range double from Matt Diskin. The hookers' tries were created by Danny Maguire and Willie Poaching, and the Rhinos had the 2 points pretty much in the bag at the break. Leeds had romped to a 60-0 success over an injury-hit Quinn side back in March, and there was just a chance they could pile up a similar points tally when Scott Donald scored early in the second half to take the Rhinos to 30. But the Londoners refused to roll over. They may have a host of playmakers in the side, but perhaps they should leave their kicking game to heavyweight forward Mark Tuckey, as his cultured effort eventually created a 4-pointer for Tyrone Smith to make it 30 points to 12. Leeds, who were bouncing back from their bank holiday Monday morning by the Wolves, snuffed out any chance of a comeback there as Rob Burrow put Jamie Peacock over, and their 24-point lead was restored. Harlequins did score twice though before the end to cut the final margin to 12. Henry Paul's pass created Mark McLinden's second try of the night before Luke Dawn had the final word. Quins, though, slip a place on the league ladder to 8th after Castleford's win at the JJB Stadium. The Rhinos' win gives them a 3-point cushion over third-place Bradford after the Bulls were beaten at Hull. Steve McNamara took his team to the club whose overtures he rejected and got off to the perfect start. Paul Cook made a hash of a Harris kick and gifted a try to Michael Withers. It didn't take Hull long, though, to get back on level terms. Ewan Dow's sleight of hand sending Richard Horne skating away under the posts. Despite being without Leslie Vinacolo and picking up injuries to Brett Ferris and Paul Johnson, the Bulls regained the lead. Another kick caused chaos, Motu Tony couldn't handle it, and Carl Price was the beneficiary. 12-6 with Harris's touchline conversion. Again, Hull hit back hard. Kirk Yeaman scored for the 18th time in Super League 11 and cut the lead to 12-10. And Peter Sharp's side were in front by half-time with 2 more quick tries. Captain Richard Swain spotted a hole, and Richard Horne's support play did the rest. And right on the hooter, Hull made it 22-12 as Paul Cook's wonderful long pass put Lee Radford over against his old club. Both teams had their chances in the second half. In fact, they both had tries disallowed by referee Steve Ganson. Hull, though, always just about had the edge, and that was underlined by Kirk Yeaman's clincher. Salford snapped their 3-game losing streak to move within a point of Bradford in the table, but they had to come from behind to do it, as Wakefield had by far the better of the first half at the Willows. Semi Tadulala soared through the air with the greatest of ease to open the scoring. and John Whittle's close-range try made it 10-0 to the Wildcats at half-time. The City Reds, though, were on the comeback trail straight after the break as Aaron Moole got them moving in the right direction, although John Wilshire's try-creating pass did look suspiciously forward. And when Ryan Clayton scored shortly afterwards, Salford were in front for the first time at 12 points to 10. A Jamie Rooney penalty tied it up, but John Wilshire replied in kind to edge Salford back in front, and it ended up being a good night for Wilshire and the City Reds as he scored twice late on, squeezing over in the corner on both occasions to get Salford back on track. Wakefield remained 4 points clear of the bottom of the table, with a massive match against Wigan at Bellevue next weekend.
OK, to confirm those results, so far in round 13, Steve McNamara's Bradford lost away to Hull. Peter Sharp's first game fully in charge at home, wins for Leeds and Salford, with the City Reds staging a big comeback over Wakefield to get back into winning ways. And the horror story at the JJB continued, with Wigan going down to Castleford in what was billed as a relegation four-pointer. That, of course, was our feature live match on Sky Sports. So the table, with 2 games remaining in this round, St Helens still unbeaten and comfortable at the top of the table. Leeds 4 points behind. Bradford, Salford, Hull and Warrington make up the top 6 down the bottom, with Catalan Dragons exempt from relegation. Wigan are in real danger, being 4 points adrift of the nearest contenders for the drop. Huddersfield tonight can lift themselves further from the drop zone, but to do that they need to turn around a 5-match losing streak against the St Helens team in red-hot form. One other game being played tonight. Catalan are entertaining the Warrington Wolves in Perpignan. We'll bring you score updates during the program and all the tries at half-time and again at full-time here at the Gal Farm Stadium. Well, Ian Millwood here with me, our special guest, of course, and of course a former St Helens coach. Ian, just first question off the cuff. Can Huddersfield possibly beat them tonight?
Well, you'd think after 80 minutes St Helens should win tonight. You look at the table, you look at their form, and their defence has been outstanding this year. When Huddersfield, they've lost their last 5 games, but I've got a sneaky feeling tonight we're in for a real close one. I like the Huddersfield team John Sharp's picked tonight. He's got a couple of forwards. Keith Mason just signed during the week from St Helens, and Wayne McDonald give him a little bit more power, and Brad Drew, their dummy half's been their best player this year. But I think the warning for St Helens is Sean Long's out. And with Sean out, when I coached St Helens, the bloke I used to worry about more if he was out injured was Sean Long. He gives you direction, he gives you a lot of vision around the park, and he gives you a great kicking game. And they've got 2 young guys in there today, Scotty Moore and Matty Smith, and that's a lot of pressure on these 2 guys on an away game. And I think because of those reasons, the Jamie Lyon factor, who's the best player probably in the world at the moment, and the way he's playing in attack, is I think it gives Huddersfield great hope tonight. I think we're going to have a close game.
Sean Long out, of course, and Jamie Lyon out in isolation. They could probably get away with either. Both of them out together, though. That could be troubles for them. They're chasing 13 straight wins, St Helens. Will that add any pressure to them, do you think?
Well, you know, it adds pressure wherever you are. If you're at the bottom, you look at Wigan, you know, that they talk about it all the time, the pressure of being last. And the more you think about it, the more it becomes pressure and anxiety. At St Helens at the top, yeah, it does become pressure because people want to beat you. They're a little bit more relaxed when they go into the game because they say, look, these guys are undefeated. We need a good performance to be able to compete. So they're not talking about winning, they're talking about competing. So there's probably a lot of pressure on St Helens there to compete week in, week out. And I've been through that before, and it's very hard to be week in, week out at your best. What you need is your decision makers to be at their best. And a couple of them are missing for tonight for St Helens. A couple of them are starting on the bench. So obviously Daniel Anderson's got a lot of confidence in a couple of these young guys to bring them in. So yeah, there is pressure. Doesn't matter if you're at the top or the bottom.
Well, it's certainly not a done deal yet, that's for sure, with St Helens. They've only really been tested twice this year. One of those occasions was right here at the Gal Farm Stadium. They won by the barest of margins, just 2 points against the Giants. That was just 8 weeks ago. They are chasing 13 straight wins. That could well add some pressure to them. But Huddersfield, what better team to arrest their slide against than the mighty St Helens? It should be a night of fireworks, a night of high drama. Kick-off not too far away.
Foster's Super Chilled. Well, you wouldn't want a warm beer.
Dry. Flood warning. aqua drops.
The fruity sweet that floods your mouth.
Side-splitting, bone-crunching, mind-blowing action. Kung Fu Hustle, blasting into Virgin's 3 for £20 deal now.
There's no feeling like M3 Power. Press the button and feel the boost in performance. Introducing M3 Power Nitro, the first battery-powered shaving system from Gillette. M3 Power with a bold new look. Feel the power of Gillette's closest, most comfortable shave. New M3 Power Nitro from Gillette.
I have to go away on business.
From the creator of Alias and Lost.
Our mission is to get in and kidnap Damien.
If you think you've seen the impossible...
Where's Jules?
You don't have any idea what's going on, do you?
Think again.
And we have 2 hours before she's dead.
Tom Cruise. The mission has begun.
This month at McDonald's, you can text to win FIFA World Cup tickets.
So, what's your line of business then?
Well, I'm, sorry.
Tomo, speak to me. Yeah, that's right.
Real fans only, please. 2 tickets every hour, every day throughout May at McDonald's.
The Dymo Label Writer 400 Turbo. Just select, click and print perfect labels every time. You'll never want to print labels any other way. For all your office needs, Dymo. The easier, the better.
もしもし、はい、もしもし。なんだ？ここは東京だ！お前東京に出
For long-lasting labels no one can miss, the Label Manager and Label Point from Dymo.
New lemon mint flavour. Another little slice of happiness from Walker's.
Foster's Super Chill. Well, you wouldn't want a warm beer.
Big players decide big games.
The last day of the Premiership. 2 must-win games on Sky Sports. At Old Trafford, 3 points for United guarantees second place.
High stakes, high tension, high drama. You've got the best seat in the house.
Farewell to Highbury. Arsenal still chasing the last Champions League spots.
It's as simple as that.
A final day Ford Super Sunday tomorrow from 2, Sky Sports.
Make a note of the date.
And a massive night in the Super League at the Gull Farm Stadium. The Huddersfield Giants hoping to halt their losing run. Saints aiming for a Super League record number of wins. And the Giants in the dressing room. We are just minutes away from kickoff. And John Sharp, of course, a former assistant coach at St Helens. And they know they are up against a mighty fit outfit. Even though they are missing a couple of their guns in Sean Long and Jamie Lyon. Saints are oozing with talent. And we look at the team sheets to confirm them. The back line then for the Giants, Paul Riley at fullback, Martin Aspinwall and Stuart Donlan the wingers. The centres then James Evans with Michael DeVere, Paul Marsh at half, Robbie Paul wears the 7 at scrum half. For the Giants, their starting props, Keith Mason on debut after signing a permanent contract during the week. Jim Gannon, the other starting prop. Brad Drew's their captain. He's been in great form of late. The second row pairing, Andy Raleigh and Paul Smith, and Stuart Jones locks the scrum. For the Giants coming off their bench then, Big Earl Crabtree, Paul Jackson, Wayne McDonald and Matt Gardner. Coached, as I said, by John Sharp. The Saints lineup then looks like this. Paul Wellens at fullback, 80 Gardner and Francis Mellier the wingers. Vinnie Anderson moves into the centres. No Jamie Lyon, out with that eye injury. He's alongside Willie Tallow, and the halves pairing a lot of pressure on these 2 youngsters, Scott Moore and Matty Smith. Forward pack then for Saints, their starting props, Nick Fozzard and James Graham. James Roby will start at hooker. Paul Sculthorpe, the captain, in the second row alongside John Wilkin. Jason Hooper at loose forward. And for St Helens coming off their bench, Leon Price and Kieran Cunningham starting on the bench, Paul Anderson and Maury Farsavalu, and they are coached, of course, by Daniel Anderson. All right, well, Ian Millward has now joined Steve-O and Phil Clark in the commentary box, and they are alongside Bill Arthur.
This new look St Helens side takes the field, led by Paul Sculthorpe, and slight disbelief, I think, among the Saints fans when their lineup was read out. No Jamie Lyon, no Sean Long. I can tell you that Sean Long's absence explained by the man himself. He's earned a breather. He's having a breather. I suggested that he might like to be at home watching this one on Sky Sports, but he said there's a hen night going on at home, so he fancied a bit of peace and quiet here at the Gal Farm Stadium.
Well, I'm with you, Bill. It really is a bit of a problem.
And here come the Huddersfield Giants, and one of their mascots, young Joshua Pearson, 10 years old, who's battling a serious illness at the moment, but he's a Giants fan, a dedicated Giants fan, presented with his kit by Robbie Paul and Brad Drew. And there is Joshua leading the side out, and really has got a lot of courage, this young man. A pat on the head from one of the Giants players, with fireworks going off, and anticipate plenty of fireworks here tonight as well. And when it's all settled down, there will be a minute's silence in honour of a former chairman of the Huddersfield club, Jimmy Collins, who died last week at the age of 58. He was a great benefactor of the club in their hard times, and he leaves his widow Andrea and his sons James, Robert, David and Andrew. He'll be much missed here in Huddersfield, and he'll now be marked by a minute's silence.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Huddersfield Giants were sad to learn of the death of ex-Foxtel chairman Jim Collins, who sadly died last week at the age of 58. Jimmy, who was chairman of the club between 1989 and 1991, leaves his wife Andrea and sons James, Robert, David and Andrew. Our thoughts at this time are with his friends and family. Jim always supported local rugby league and was well respected within the community. He will sadly be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please now observe a 1 minute silence?
Phil Bentham is the referee tonight, and it'll be the Giants who'll get us underway. And they know that they can trouble this Saints side. 18-16 just a couple of months ago, and Saints had to battle all the way. That was with a full-strength side, Steve-O.
Yeah, they always seem to play well against St Helens, to the Giants, and I must say they're going through a very bad patch indeed. I'm sure we'll get a better performance from them tonight.
Michael De Vere gets plenty of elevation on that, and it's one of the new recruits, Matty Smith, who in fact made his Saints debut on this ground in that 18-16 victory back in March, and he's back in the frame tonight, getting a start. An England Academy international, Matty Smith, and here's Nick Fuzzard, former Huddersfield Giant himself.
Well, a little bit confused before the kickoff, as you say, Bill, with Daniel Anderson's suggestion and bringing on Scott Moore at standoff and Matty Smith at halfback. It just indicates to me that maybe they want to run Huddersfield completely off their legs early in this match.
But Smith putting a good strong kick in, and Paul Riley eventually seeing that one run dead, but he's got a big boot on him as Matty Smith. We've seen that already. So the Giants, they need a confidence-boosting start here, really, because they must be very, very low after the run of form they've had. They improved slightly against Harlequins last time out, an improvement in defeat, but an improvement on recent form that was from the Giants. Now he's Keith Mason.
Well, let's certainly look towards the forwards. We know the quality of Brad Drew, their captain. If the forwards can really start mixing it with St Helens, maybe for the first time for many, many weeks at the Huddersfield three-quarter line, they've got the speed in Aspinwall, Evans, De Vere and Donlan. They can make St Helens pay, but they've got to make sure that they build that platform with the forwards.
Francis Melly just allowing that one to bounce, which allowed the chasers, James Evans and Martin Aspinwall, to close in on him. Now here's Paul Wellens, and Wellens hit hard and possibly a little bit high there.
Bill, I think that's the area that the Giants have got to focus on. You know, when you play St Helens, you have to defend well, because they're not going to allow you to score many tries, so you can't let the scoreboard keep ticking over, particularly when it comes to the goal line defence. Huddersfield improved a little bit last week at the match against Harlequins, but the last time that we saw them on the Sky Sports, it was a disappointing defensive effort, and that's the area they will have worked on.
Of course, the Giants not without their problems. Chris Thorman out for 6 weeks with a broken thumb. They lost Chris Nero earlier on today. In fact, he's succumbed to a virus. He was initially named. A good kick that is. That's a 40-20, I think. And definite 40, says Phil Bentham, and it's Matty Smith with the kick. Well, what an impact this young man has had already. Well, only 18 years old.
You made comment earlier, Bill, with the kick downfield, and it just went dead in goal, and he has repaid Daniel Anderson, his coach, with the faith of starting the game. He's full of confidence, this youngster. Be interesting to see how Moore and Smith combine tonight.
Come on, heads in. Listen, lads, everybody bind it in the scrum.
Well, it's put St Helens in great attacking position, although Phil Bentham not happy with the way Saints are packing down. But a great opportunity for them now with Willie Tallow. Tallow tackled about 5 metres out. Here's James Graham, named in Brian Noble's Great Britain training squad. One of 10 St Helens players in that squad. Now here is Smith, swings the ball out to Sculthorpe, back on the inside to Fozzard, who's decked by Stuart Jones. A good tackle it needed to be as well. Smith once more. Now here's Scott Moore. Moore to Wellens. Wellens to Vinnie Anderson, playing in those centres in the absence of Jamie Lyon. Good defence from the Giants.
Great work there by the winger Stuart Donlan. He came right off the whitewash, right into the face.
They go down the short side. The ball's scooped up well by Adi Gardner, but it went forward. And so Saints squander what was a great position.
And the Giants survived that first test. You have to be able to defend your goal line, because at times in the game, St Helens are going to get there. They had the right number of defenders, stood in front of the right number of attackers, and hence the reason why they saw Paul Wellens in the threat down the right.
Well, it's amazing sight, isn't it? See Paul Wellens packing in at loose forward. We've got Hooper on the last scrum, feeding the scrum as a loose forward position. He likes to ring the changes, does Daniel Anderson, that's for sure.
Well, Jamie Lyon and Sean Long absent. Normally 2 candidates for the Man of the Match award. I wonder who is going to catch the judges' eyes. Let's join Dave Hadfield.
Well, what a way for Keith Mason to start his Huddersfield career tonight. He couldn't have a greater incentive to play well, except perhaps when the Giants meet Castleford next month. There's an opportunity to compare him tonight with Saints' latest Great Britain squad member, James Graham. He's really come of age. He's come on a ton this season. He's in that squad now on merit, not just on potential. The same can be said of James Roby. He's a very versatile player for St Helens. He's listed at hooker tonight, but with Sean Long out, suspect he's going to play quite a bit of half-back as well.
Meanwhile, both sides guilty of being careless with possession. Saints first, and then Stuart Donlan not able to take that pass from Michael De Vere. Well, he should have done.
Yeah, he should have. Nothing wrong with the pass whatsoever. Maybe just overran it slightly. Had to reach back with the right arm. But well, it's like the opening bout in a boxing match. Either side doesn't really want to test anybody. Just trying to get onto the right foot.
Wellens just over the halfway line into the centre circle. In actual fact, for St Helens, here's James Graham. has come on leaps and bounds this season, which has earned him his Great Britain squad call-up.
And fully deserved as well. He's been outstanding this year.
Roby pops the ball up, great hands. Wilkin, he's just tackled in time by Robbie Paul, but Saints piling on the pressure here now. Just short of that try line. Wilkin. Here's Moore. Graham stands and offloads. Fozzard. Fozzard straight up the middle, saw the gap.
Great defence yet again. Brad Drew went down on Fozzard, had to be as well.
Moore chips the kick in. Gardner underneath that, but was heading for touch, just had to flick the ball back in field.
And again, very good defence by the Giants. They're not being kidded at all. They're waiting, they're hanging as one straight line. No one's coming out of it and leaving the gap. Solid work. John Sharp would be happy with this.
Oof, tiptoe from A.D. Gardner there. Ian, is it just a matter of time?
No, it's not, because Huddersfield's been questioning their defence, losing 5 games in a row, but this gives them confidence. They've had to defend inside their half very early here. The thing I liked about them, that coming out of their half, and here again down the short side, they've had 2 opportunities to make breaks out of their half, come with 2 drop balls. They can take that defence and focus into their attack. I think we might see some breaks from Huddersfield here tonight.
Brad Drew hammers that ball downfield where it's retrieved by A.D. Gardner. And Gardner runs into the chasing Giants. De Vere was there, so was Paul Smith. Sculthorpe now, tight to the touchline.
Phil, just a little bit of did you know on Matty Smith. He was a young kid from Everton who was coming through the soccer ranks the same time as Wayne Rooney. And then there's an error there by... So don't be surprised if he has a very good kicking game. He does. He's already got 140-20. That's one of his attributes. Very good kicking.
That's a high shot.
Silly play by Hooper there. And it wasn't the best effort from Nick Fozzard previous to that, trying to offload. No doubt about it. Bang.
Andy Raleigh was the victim.
He felt it as well.
Jason Hooper's been sin-binned twice already this season. Only 3 sin binnings for Saints, and Hooper has received 2 of them.
To be fair, he has a bit of a problem in that department, just loose concentration. Can't control his emotions at times.
So the Giants, having weathered that storm, have an opportunity to examine this Saints defence now. Robbie Paul, Brad Drew, March now. March, great pop ball to De Vere. De Vere for the corner, and Michael De Vere gets the first try of the game. His 3rd try of the season. And the Giants on the ropes early on have bounced straight back, and great build up to that one. Robbie Paul, Brad Drew and Paul March, the pivotal players all involved.
Tremendous play there. Brad Drew taking the first receiver and pushing Paul March out to stand off. Way out, 2 quick passes. Bang, watch this. Great between the combination. They came out of the line, not the best defence in the corner, and they squeezed in. It all came about by the silly high shot from Hooper, and the Giants took full advantage of it. We talk about the one-line of defence, you see they came out of it. They couldn't help it. De Vere, he's back to good form.
The try tracker shows us that Huddersfield prepared to shift the ball early in the tackle count. 1 drive in from the penalty, going wide outside and getting on the outside of Scott Moore. Michael De Vere timed his run and positioned his run to perfection, just a metre outside Scott Moore, and as he took the ball, Moore was too late to get to him.
Well, Michael De Vere will try and convert. Amazingly, that was his 1st try on home soil for the Giants. He's been here for 2 seasons. Well, he's making an impact on home soil. He's kicked that one as well.
There you see it. Moore completely off balance. You've got to fill in. They're too close to each other, and he took full advantage of it. Came in on the angle, scooted out in the arc. Nothing was going to stop him. That'll lift the Giants' spirits, but will it poke St. Helens in the eye? Will it get them started? They look a bit sluggish at the moment to the Saints.
Well, when you make that number of changes, is it bound to take a bit of time?
Well, it does. It does affect your cohesion, but it's all part of the process of winning trophies, because you've got to give everyone an opportunity. I think if we reflect back that try also there, Bill, is that their best player of the last few weeks and who's created all their tries and breaks has been Brad Drew around the ruck. And I think that's very encouraging. They can score on an edge on Michael De Vere. That'll give them a lot of confidence.
And Paul Riley, characteristically ferocious run over the halfway line. Here is Brad Drew. Not surprisingly, the Giants very happy to extend his stay at the club by another 2 years. Little hesitation there from Adi Gardner.
Well, they were kicking.
And they were offside.
Yeah, there was in front of the kicker, but it was good thinking once again by Brad Drew. Kicking early, went on the fourth, didn't wait till the last. See how it looked as though he was going out on the right-hand side. Pulls it right to the left. Well, I wonder when they're going to wake up, and I'm with Ian Millwood. It really has surprised me that Daniel Anderson, not only just positional changes, but it just gives the opposition a chance.
Maybe he's done it, Steve-O. He was critical of the performance last week against Wakefield. He thought they looked a little flat. He's perhaps to put a fresh couple of players in, thinking that that might bring the enthusiasm, that might spark them back to life.
With James Roby sparking things up the middle now. And linking up with James Graham. He wasn't tackled, says Phil Bentham. And Saints looking for an immediate reply here. Daniel Anderson just issuing 1 or 2 instructions. Wilkin comes back in field. Wellens.
The one got the Saints are good at over the past 4 to 5 seasons is their ability to back up the man with the football.
Scott Moore again going for that kick across field, putting Donlan under pressure, but Donlan wasn't under pressure.
That was good shielding there.
Bill, I know we're all talking about some of these changes, but let's reflect. It's only 12 minutes in the game. We've got a long time to go, and have a look at the bench. How would anyone like to have a Cunningham and Anderson, Fusavalu, Price on your bench? So there is ammunition over the hill, don't worry.
There they are, waiting to come on. Kieran Cunningham, Leon Price, among the replacements for the St Helens side. Brad Drew.
Ooh, that looked a bit forward there.
Just 10, that's just 10.
Now then, was that a knock-on? It was from Wellens. He went to trap it, it ricocheted up off a very firm pitch, it has to be said here. Oh, there you go.
Well, he's not at the races.
Even
so
the best in the game can be undone.
And there's an old saying that you should never let the ball bounce. It can deceive you so often. He had every opportunity, I feel, there to accelerate and go and catch that on the full, under more pressure. And don't be surprised if the Giants do the link yet again.
Robbie Paul having to reach for that one. He did well. James Evans is under pressure from Francis Melly. Here is Mason. What a big opportunity it is for Keith Mason, because he's been in the wilderness really the last few months. Didn't settle at Castleford, where he was on loan from Saints. Wigan wanted him, Saints wouldn't sanction it. Eventually he's with Huddersfield. He's got an opportunity, and Huddersfield almost had an opportunity there. They needed Wellens to show why he is one of the best in the business.
Wasn't going to take any chances as well. It was a beautifully timed kick from Paul. And as Bill has mentioned, one of the best in defence and positional play. That's the reason why he got there first. Nice probing kick. Second set of 6 for the Giants.
They've been the best team this year because they've been able to handle periods of adversity better than their opponents. They've been under pressure at times already this season, but they've been able to ride through it. Here's a test now against a team who are pretty good at scoring from a goal line dropout.
Catalan Dragons 6-4 up against the Warrington Wolves in Perpignan. Aspinwall. The Giants just losing their way a little bit there. Here is Brad Drew. Drew dropped the shoulder. Sculthorpe made the tackle, backed up by James Roby. 20 metres out. Paul March now. Robbie Paul. Shade forward, that one. Andy Raleigh was tackled though. They've only made a couple of metres. Drew once more. Fires the ball out to Paul Smith. Smith back in field on the angle. That's the 5th tackle. Drew will put the kick in. It's a little stabbed grubber, but it's well dealt with.
Good
work
out.
from John Wilkin.
Yeah, put himself in a good position as well. But that really would have lifted the spirits as well. Okay, Huddersfield have got that lead at 6 points. But the way that they are just kicking and putting the pressure, St Helens in their own quarter yet again, and finding it difficult against a side that for most of the season has been shocking in defence.
Maybe it's one of the reasons why they've just brought on one of the big guns. Murray Fasavalu now just on the field for St Helens as they go wide to Talau.
Talau had Melly steaming alongside, but took the tackle on the halfway line. Fasavalu gets his first touch, and then Wilkin, a kick down the middle, and Riley fairly leisurely approach to that one, and Wilkin was chasing.
Well, Daniel Anderson will be furious about that. Wilkinson was chasing, he was on his own, there was no one else there.
That's true. Here's Stuart Donlan in off his wing to make some yards for the Giants.
Stand square. Go.
Drew now. Tackled by Keith Mason, by James Graham and James Roby. Gannon wraps up on the halfway line.
Got tremendous ability this, you know, this Huddersfield skipper, Brad Drew. Can take it from dummy half, as we know, often as a hooker. First man receiver, and sometimes he's out wide.
Well, Robbie Paul did really well to offload there, but nobody seemed to be on the same wavelength for the Giants. It was a succession of over to you, pal passes, and then the kick from Drew. Well, Melly was hoping that would go dead, and that has backfired. That's a great chase from the Giants. Second goal line dropout they've forced.
Bill, you know, it's been very impressive that the 7 and 6 are decision makers in rugby league, and the way they've been able to interchange their roles. Sometimes Drew's on an edge, sometimes he's dummy half, he swaps over with Robbie Paul, March. The way they've interchanged that has been very efficient and very, very professional, the way they've done it.
John Sharp looking on, the Giants coach, former St Helens assistant, of course, and John Sharp's assistant, Kieran Perthill, also was on the staff at Knowsley Roads. So they know all about this Saints side. And they're putting that knowledge to good use at the moment.
Well, it's a very slow defence from Saints. They're hanging back, they want to see what the Giants are going to do. They've got to get into the faces.
Earl Crabtree is on, and he just stuck his shoulder into James Graham there, and Graham looked at the referee. Robbie Paul flicks that one out the back. Andy Raleigh it is who picks it up, and he drives again towards the Saints line. That's the 5th tackle. And Brad Drew, this time, hoists a kick out wide to put Gardner under pressure. It's patted back. Sculthorpe is chasing that. Here is Riley now. Nowhere for Paul Riley to go, but he does ever so well there. Riley, oh, he couldn't get the pass away, and Saints salvage the situation.
Great work from the full-back. He knew it was on the last. Didn't want to do the power play, but he had no option. Tried to keep it alive. St Helens were very fortunate there. The defence was all over the shop. This is a work from the full-back. So many of the Saints players just falling off the man with the football.
Well, the Giants fans appealing for a forward pass there. It never was. And here goes Francis Melly.
Well, if Saints players don't realise they're in a bit of a trouble out there, and they never will, because as the minutes are ticking away, the Giants are feeling stronger and stronger.
But they're only 6-0 up, and as Ian has pointed out, there are some fairly formidable reinforcements ready to join the fray.
It's not the scoreboard that's the problem, is it, really, for St Helens at the moment? It's perhaps some of their tackling. They've slipped off one or two that we don't normally see. Just how well can they contain the Giants now in this set of possession?
Saints have missed 4 tackles already. Here goes Aspinwall.
There's a real determination in the Huddersfield players running the ball that we didn't see when they played against Wigan. Too submissive in the tackle here. They're determined to try and break through the other side, and that's been a key difference.
Brad Drew went for a 40-20 there. He didn't get the run of the ball. It just sat up nicely for Adi Gardner.
And another big problem for Saints there. Look at them walking back
Well, it's a fairly muggy evening. I think it's still pretty warm out there. The sun has disappeared, but heavy cloud cover, no breeze. Very firm pitch.
It only appears to me that James Roby is the man out there that's got any real interest in applying any pressure to this Huddersfield defence, which is good.
It's really enthusiastic Giants defence. They know that another defeat here, the 6th in a row, would not only extend their losing streak, the worst in the competition at the moment, but would just leave them with the relegation pack hot on their heels. They're only 4 points ahead of Wigan at the moment. They can't afford to dally around at this end of the table for much longer.
No, you're right, Bill. They are in the mire just as much as Wigan are, and they've realised that. And I think that's they're offside. I must say that's the reason John Sharp, their coach, would have said to him, you know, do you want to be in this mix? Do you want to have this problem of relegation hanging over you? We've got to win tonight.
And they look like a team more determined to win, don't they, with their performance in that opening quarter. One player I want to keep a big eye on is Earl Crabtree for the Giants. He's coming off the bench. The last time these sides met, he had a massive match for Huddersfield. And I guess with the Great Britain squad announced this week, and him being omitted at the expense of somebody like James Graham in the Saints side as a front rower, he'll have a point to prove here.
And Wayne McDonald with a point to prove maybe as well, former Saints man. Well, former just about everywhere else man, actually. Wayne McDonald played in 6 Super League clubs like Dion Bird over the years.
Look how this St. Helens defence, they're taking one step and then stopping and saying, what are you going to do? Tell you what they're doing, they're getting over the advantage line.
Robbie Paul pops it up to Wayne McDonald. McDonald immediately brought to the ground by Fasavalu and James Graham. They fire the ball out.
Oh, and it's a try.
The pass just goes to the ground.
Aspinwall has bombed. Well, it's a sitter. Simple as that. It was a perfect pass to start with. Okay, it hit the ground.
So it wasn't a perfect pass.
I said it was a perfect pass to start with because he was looking for someone coming short onto the football, and they both went as dummy runners. The crowd know.
They know they're not going to get that many chances like that.
You know, that element of Huddersfield game has let them down this season. When they get to within 10 metres of their opponent's line, they're the second worst side in the league at converting it into a try. Maybe it's a lack of composure, maybe it's the nerves within the side, having gone through 5 defeats, but they're not able to convert that good field position into tries. Ironically, they're the best side almost from scoring at long range. They're such a quick team.
Oh, that's good defence from the Giants. Paul Jackson and Paul Smith. Big tackle there on Jason Hooper, and Hooper is in back play, just shrugging off the after effects of that, but Saints have got the penalty.
Just a little bit too eager out wide on the left, and you can see both sides finding it pretty tough out there. It is a large stadium. There's not much oxygen, I suppose, in many ways. It's don't get much wind coming through it.
2 penalties apiece. The youngsters, Moore and Smith combining, and then it's with Willie Tallow, one of the senior players in the side, 30 years old. Here's John Wilkin, another one of the 10 Saints players in that Great Britain training squad, but they've come up with the error again. Wilkin complaining that that ball was stolen from Brad Drew.
No doubt about it that Brad Drew had his little fingers touching the leather.
Are they real
leather? Oh, certainly had his hand and fingers in there.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because you're trying to stop the player from offloading the ball. A lot of players are coached to put the hand on the ball or the ball carrier so that it prevents that offload. Wilkin, one of the best at getting away in the tackle. And then if the ball comes out, I suppose it's a 50-50 ref's call.
Of course, the onus is on the ball carrier to retain possession. It's in his care.
It's an awful rule. You know, if you can't control the ball, you don't deserve to have it. You know, we say to players to squeeze their arm, to keep it tight, to offload. Because if you look at even last night, the amount of unloads Cass got, which gave him momentum, and you know, it's a hard act for the referee. If you change the rules, it take away a lot of pressure off the ref.
As a former coach, Ian, I don't want to rub the salt into the wounds, but do you actually tell some of your players to mess around with the ball, not whilst they're playing it, because they will get penalised, but when they're running at them?
Well, the first thing is you've got to stop the ball, and you're told when you're younger, lock onto the ball. And certain players, you're not even worried about tackling, you're worried about stopping the ball because you know that's one of their strengths. So you're going to be in that area, which is going to cause some problems. So, you know, I think it's a tough call for everyone. I think that's a rule I'd love to see change.
The Saints have responded to the situation, or it was a change already planned anyway, but Paul Anderson has joined the fray. He's replaced James Graham. So the 34-year-old warhorse is on and into the action as well. And Kieran Cunningham is there too. He's off the bench to maybe spark this Saints side up. But we talk about Saints not sparking, but you've got to give credit to the Giants.
Yeah, they certainly have, though. They've a bit of a blood bin here.
Murray Fasivalu
Let's just have somebody on, please.
is going to need some treatment. It's only a little nick.
Just needs wiping, that's all. Just needs some water on it.
Steve, you're talking about, you know, locking on the ball and do you tell players to target it. I'll tell you the first thing John Sharp would say now, it's like at a fire station, there's a fire on. He'd be saying to every player, Cunningham's on, Cunningham's on. Now, that will rise their defence just as much. It'll rise St Helens.
Paul Anderson again involved. He made his 300th career appearance on this ground in March. Still going strong. And that one a bit too strong from the Saints skipper.
Well, not many opportunities have come St Helens' way, and that's because this Giants outfit are really bossing the game. They've been forcing St Helens back. The field position has been very good for Huddersfield.
They've just brought on the best defender those Saints. Probably the best defender in the country this season so far. Kieran Cunningham really has lifted in that department.
Well, they've conceded 2 tries a game so far this season. The most miserly defence in the competition, Saints.
Great work from Paul there. Good play the ball. Very slow again in the first and second markers, Saints.
Warrington ahead against the Catalans, we saw. Looking for revenge. 12-6 up. Of course, the Dragons got their first away win at the Halliwell Jones a couple of months ago, so there's a bit of a score to settle there, and that way everything's going right for the Giants, because that one bounced back into play when it looked as though it was going dead.
Well, I criticise Saints as a poor kick and chase, but you can see on that occasion John Sharp will be the coach most upset, because even the Huddersfield side said, well, that's going dead in goal. You've got to keep pushing.
Jackson and Crabtree enthusiastic.
Back to basic, Saints, that's all they need to do. A little bit more hard work in the forwards. That's it, that's good work. Crabtree got him.
He's putting it about his Earl Crabtree. That was Vinnie Anderson who felt that.
That's better. That's a good run from Anderson.
That's the other Anderson, Paul Anderson, driving up to the halfway. There's Earl Crabtree. As Clarkey said, maybe a bit of a point to prove. Wilkin with the kick. And again, I think that's going to skim over the surface here. It really is very dry. There's not a lot of grass on this pitch.
I tell you what, the score at 6-0. You know, we talk about how well Huddersfield are going. They had numbers on the outside there, St Helens. It would have been interesting if they put it through their hands and went for the 6 points instead of the kick down behind there. But you know, you talk about their defence. I think their defence is staying together and it's quite good. It's their inability on the inside when the ball leaves you to push hard and help you to mate on the outside. I think that's the area they've dropped off a little bit defensively here tonight, St Helens.
Andy Raleigh meeting that Saints defence there. Crabtree once more. He's fired up, that's for sure. Paul Anderson driving him back. And Robbie Paul darting, sniping run just over the halfway line. He's been ever present since he moved here from the Bradford Bulls on. Paul Jackson and goes without that one. He's hung on to it.
Well, he must have dived into there.
That was a slick catch to be proud of, that was. And Brad Drew's happy to put the kick in. And Aidy Gardner, who has the look of him of a... Wayne McDonald flattens him, but he's looking a bit like a B-movie film star at the moment, Aidy Gardner, with that... what
on earth has Sculthorpe done?
Zapata moustache he's got.
Bill, that's the area of Huddersfield's game I've been most impressed with. When you play against St Helens, one of the first threats you face is that when you kick the ball, Wellens, Gardner and Melly are three at the best at returning, just beating the first man and a quick play of the ball. But that hasn't happened predominantly tonight because the Giants have dealt with that kick return incredibly well.
Anderson doing well to offload. Cunningham straight up the middle. Good work from Kieran Cunningham. Matty Smith screaming for the ball to the left. That's confidence for you. Smith taking them on himself, and the Giants are offside.
And that was all brought about by a quicker play the ball by Saints. And boy, they needed it. Daniel Anderson, their coach, would have got the message out. You see there, half a dozen never made any attempt to get back the required 10.
Hold, go.
So this is a good opportunity for St Helens now to try and get points on the board. They trail by 6 points to 0. Matty Smith now. Smith to Sculthorpe. Now here's Wellens. Vinnie Anderson. Anderson back for Wellens. The Giants fans appeal for a forward pass. Here is Scott Moore. Moore taking him on. He's lost that ball.
Again.
And Riley will pick it up. Cunningham. And Riley wrestling. And it's Riley who gets up to the 20-metre line. And again, Scott Moore just went without it.
Well, I'm not so sure. There was a stray arm knocking it down. It's that rule yet again. Problematic. One with Ian Millwood, I detest it.
Jim Gannon with the charge. He missed the first 11 games of the season with a knee problem to Jim Gannon. He's just getting back to his best. And he can bring a lot of vitality to this Giants side.
And that's the reason why Daniel Anderson has thrown Leon Price into the fray. And that's a good kick. Good position. He's having a fine game. It's always nice to see one player being the architect. It's a 40-20.
Well, Phil Bentham has called a 40-20.
Yep.
And he's right.
Spot on. Good combination of the touch judge on that far side.
And it was inches inside the 20 there from Brad Drew.
He's a fine player, this.
He hasn't missed a game since he signed for the Giants last year. That's 42 games Brad Drew has played. Riley now. And Saints are offside.
The loose forward left the scrum too soon, Bill.
Yeah.
Leon Price, I think it was, he packed down at the back of that scrum.
He's only just on the field.
You know, I think that's only the second occasion in all of Super League.
He was warning him, Steve-O, as the ball and the scrum was forming. He said to Leon, stay in the scrum till the ball's left, and the referee thought he left too soon. Another good opportunity for the Giants, but can they score so close to opponent's line?
But Bill, why so many changes? Why so many positional changes? We've got fullbacks going in at loose forward all over the job.
Here come the Giants. Aspinwall just manages to stay in the field of play. Tala with the tackle. Evans. Crabtree now. That penalty was a differential. They couldn't kick for goal. So they're testing the Saints defence once more. Robbie Paul. Gannon.
Good solid hard work by Huddersfield. Nothing fancy until they get close to the line.
Price and Fasavalu with the tackle, but Gannon has lost that one.
Well, that'll be a bitter disappointment. The Giants were taking control. I'm not so sure that he lost it. There was a stray boot in there. He was supposed to clear the ruck, and he certainly didn't do that. Very fortunate indeed for this Saints outfit.
Never win it. Okay. Next time, mate. Okay. And let the ball get in.
Restrike.
Kick.
Phil Bentham just having a word with Jim Gannon there.
Go.
Here's Francis Melly. And he's driven back by Andy Raleigh and James Evans.
You know, they're really giving it to them, Bill, in the forward.
They are.
I think that's a byproduct, Buck Phil, of the great kicking game from Brad Drew. He's found space, he's hit the ground. Oh, here's a break from Fasalu.
Great break, he's got Wilkin in support. He's decided to go himself, and he's gone away from the support.
That was good work from Paul Marchino. He made sure he got in between.
But they've got the numbers here. They've got the numbers, Steve-O. Vinnie Anderson, and Anderson just short of the line.
Well, that was so close. Why Vinnie Anderson tried to offload. Excellent stuff. Tremendous. Great break. Fassavalu. But watch Paul March. Look how he puts himself in between. He was left for the big fella to go on to the right-hand side. That was a try saver.
Time's off. Time's off. Time's off.
Obviously, the key here at the moment, Bill, is that Huddersfield don't need to look at the scoreboard and think we've got to score. What they've got to do is go in at half-time, not conceding a try, because it'll have a huge influence on John Sharp's talk. Because I can see at the moment there's so many positives in Huddersfield. It'd be awful if they just let a jagged try in at the death.
Oh, just one win in 16 meetings since they came back to the top flight for the Huddersfield Giants over St Helens. And Saints haven't trailed at half-time this season so far. Well, another 4.5 minutes, and they will do if the Giants can keep them out. But, I was going to say that was a knock-on from Aspinwall, but Paul Anderson penalised for a ball steal.
Oh, as a player, Phil, how do you love it?
Well,
interesting.
He's holding the ball there, isn't it? Clear of the tacklers to try and get up, and it's kicked out by Leon Price, I believe.
Well, that's a penalty. It's a penalty, you know what I mean? It's got to be a penalty.
But you're taking a bit of a risk, though, aren't you? Waving the ball around like that.
He had a good grip on it. It was clear of the body, wasn't it? Maybe that's the safest position for it for those 2 or 3 seconds until the defenders are clear from you.
But he had control of the ball. It was someone who released it. That's why it was a penalty.
Right. Here come the Giants. 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. They lead by 6 points to 0.
Jim! Come on.
Brad Drew. Paul March. Oh, intercepted by Vinnie Anderson, who read that one well. March is trying to steal it back off him.
That's a problem that you have when you just hold up the pass like that and someone comes very, very tight and flat.
The Saints fans getting behind their side. They want them to level matters before half-time, and they've got a penalty of St Helens.
And you sense that burst of speed with which St Helens are so good at producing here now. They are the best team at scoring tries in the last 10 minutes before half-time. And again now, 3 minutes to go, perfect opportunity, 30 metres from the Giants' line.
Well, they'll be confused with the Giants, mainly due to the fact they've had all the play, all the opportunities, and yet they've only got 1 try on the board.
St Helens inside that Giants 20 now. Cunningham loops the pass out to Wellens. Wellens comes back in field, but that's good defence once more from the Giants. There in numbers to drive him back, just soak up a few more seconds.
They need a second phase to St Helens. A lot of flat play. Look, he's going out on 1 there. There's no one coming late.
Oh,
and they've lost it.
Coughed that ball up, just trying too hard maybe to offload it. Daniel Anderson keeping his counsel, but
they don't need it. It's as though it's only a few seconds to go for the full match. Just keep them down there. Good field position, which they've had very little of in this first half.
Aspinwall across the 20-metre line and then makes a couple of yards forward, tackled by Leon Price. Crabtree using his strength to make a couple more metres. 4 tackles gone. Saints hoping to get another set of 6. They will do now. But Gardner will have to start the work deep in his own half and facing a giant wall of defence led by Paul Smith.
To get 10 players in the defensive line on that 20-metre line there just before half-time is a real indication of just how confident and how hard Huddersfield are prepared to work today.
Vinnie Anderson was on the wing a couple of weeks ago, scored a couple of tries, in fact, against the Catalan Dragons in Perpignan. Now he's in the centre tonight in the absence of Jamie Lyon. Cunningham. Matty Smith. That's the fifth tackle.
Sure, it'll be the bomb.
Just again, a little bit of hesitation, just looking for options there from Leon Price, and it's the kick from Scott Moore, not comfortably dealt with by Aston Moore, but he gets it back at the second attempt. Cunningham almost ripped that ball from his grasp there. Riley now. Robbie Paul just keeping a cool head. It's pretty frantic out there. This is the final minute of the first half, not the final minute of the game, and yet there's an air of panic out there as Gannon makes a great break.
Just couldn't get into second gear there. Good job that Wilkin lunged at the last moment. They're not done yet. Drew was that high across the chest, says the referee Phil Benton. This will take us the next tackle to half-time. And it's a knock-on, and it is half-time.
But for the first time this season, St Helens are trailing at half-time. Michael De Beer with the try in the 10th minute, converted by the Australian centre. And the Huddersfield Giants desperate for points here. Well, they're ahead at half-time by 6 points to 0.
Well, high drama at the Gal Farm, perhaps not going the way the experts had predicted. They thought it would be David v Goliath. At the moment, certainly anything but that. The Giants held out the Saints, then Michael De Beer split them. The Giants, could this be an unexpected victory on the way?
On Sky Sports next season, 88 live matches from the Barclays Premiership.
Magnificent!
Plus an extra 50 matches on Prem Plus.
Would you believe it?
50 games available now for the special offer price of £50. That's just £1 per game. But hurry, this offer will not be repeated. You must order before midnight on May 28th. See Channel 480 or call 08705 160 160.
Which premium vodka is giving away a £10,000 pure diamond with 10 randomly selected bottles? Clearly, Smirnoff.
Would you like to see the brand new series of 2.5 Men? I bet you would, you cheeky bunnies.
You'd miss me if I was gone. Despite everything you've said, we're brothers. And we have a bond that's deeper and more meaningful than any other.
He's a funny guy. But by gosh, his lips are thin.
Brand new 2.5 Men, exclusive to Paramount Comedy 1.
Well, it's been a long day for Strahan.
What a lovely shot.
Forget your right guard. Let's start again. Start every day with an upward spray of Right Guard Total Protection. Its time-released odour protection will never let you down. Right Guard Total Protection. Start right, end right.
Hello.
Is this Ethan Hunt?
I have to go away again on business.
What are you not telling me?
What else you got? The mission has begun.
Microstars. Loads of big-name England players and top international superstars to collect. Microstars. Get in and get collecting.
It's all a question of technique. Continental, tyres engineered in Germany.
It's only $1.99. Got off the internet.
We know you'll buy anything that's $1.99. So make it something good. The Flame Grilled Double Cheeseburger and Crispy Chicken Sandwich, just $1.99 each.
Coming up, live boxing. Tonight, it's a big fight special. We're at the MGM Grand Las Vegas as Oscar De La Hoya takes on Ricardo Mayorga for the WBC Super Welterweight title. That's from 2 a.m. this evening on Sky Sports 1. And a battle of a different kind taking place here at the Gulf Farm Stadium, and certainly going against the way many would have thought. At halftime, the Giants are in front by 6 points to 0, and would you believe, the mighty St Helens, league leaders undefeated, 0 at the break. And there are the Giants in the dressing room right now, and John Sharp, I'm sure, would be delighted with the performance in the first half, and that they've got their noses in front at the break. He'll be stressing that they must continue, I'm sure, in the second half as they have started the first. They've shown a whole lot of self-belief, have the Giants. That's what has enabled them to get back into the match. Daniel Anderson, I'm sure, saying, what are you doing? They had so many options, did the Saints, in the first half. Particularly, I thought, down the left side in attack, a number of 3-on-2s, yet they took the wrong options. Ian Millwood's here with me in the studio, and I'll direct a couple of those questions to Ian right now. In fact, can you believe that, Ian? I mean, the number of times they probably took the wrong option on the last play. Yeah, they've had a lot more composure in their game in attack, Huddersfield, than Saints, which they've been renowned for. I think if you probably look at the completion rate, 50% to St Helens, which is not their normal go, and they've been 78%, I think it was, there for Huddersfield. Very interesting stat. The last time the St Helens were kept scoreless in a first half was in the playoffs last year against Leeds, and Leeds went on and won. I'm not saying that's going to happen tonight, but I've got to say they're probably the continuity around the halves with Leon Price on the bench, Sean Long not playing around there, has probably lacked that little bit of silkness it normally has. And with that, they've lacked a little bit of go forward, a little bit of direction. And when they've got into good ball, they've lacked a little bit of lack of composure. Instead of saying, guys, let's stay here, build, we'll break this Huddersfield defence, because they've lost their last 5 games, and that hasn't been good. And they've taken some poor options and, I guess, gifted Huddersfield some ball, got them in the opportunity to put points on the board. I think this is for a high shot from Hooper. It goes out to Drew now. They go to an edge here, and they find De Vere, runs into a great hole. Young Scott Moore misses the tackle, and De Vere scores out wide. And that will sort of set the alarm bells ringing. Where are they at tonight, St Helens? Because it was man on man. It was a simple miss. It wasn't a great play, but it was good lines by De Vere. And I think that's probably what Daniel Anderson's talking about at the moment. He said, hey, listen, guys, you know, I mean, we need to get a little bit more oomph in our defence, in our line speed, our ability on the inside to help the defender. I think he also says, let's just build some pressure and let's have a great kicking game at the moment like Brad Drew's given to us. Look, at the moment, if I was a Saints supporter, I'd feel comfortable. At Huddersfield, I'd have a lot of hope. I think this is going to be a close one. We predicted it at the start. I see nothing different. Well, that is for sure all the second half action not too far away right now, though. Let's have a look at highlights from the first half. Catalan Dragons up against Warrington Wolves. Taking us through is Ben Pro.
Go. Clark. Oh, he's seen a gap there, John Clark. Got support as well. Great take there from Breers. And Breers chips ahead. This could be a great try for Warrington. It's the first try of the game. And Warrington over in the shape of Brent Gross. Rinaldi looking for the options. It's a little chip into the in-goal area. Barnett's missed it. This is going to be an easy try for Justin Murphy. Last tackle for the Wolves. Logan Swan finds Lee Breers. A delicate chip into the in-goal area. Wilson is there. It could be a try, this. It could be a try, this, for Warrington.
Yeah, just check that, please. Just check the grounding, please.
Try is awarded to Warrington.
Square, Alex.
Mark Gleeson, Clark finds its way to Breers. Breers looks for some space on the right-hand side. Great run this from Lee Breers. Breers, oh, he throws the ball to Logan Swan, and Logan Swan scores a sensational try for Warrington Wolves. Alex Chan on the bounce Finds Dobson, the ricochet. This could be a try. It's Jamal Fakir.
So Warrington Wolves there, not making it easy, are they, the Dragons, for them in Perpignan? And we'll bring you more tries and second half highlights after this match. But right now, all we're focusing on is this big clash at the Gull Farm Stadium. The Giants, they had themselves in front by 6 points to 0. Michael De Vere, the only try in the first half. Second half, when we return.
We've got to put them all down. Without pause. Without regard.
The first time Saturday movie, Assault on Precinct 13. Tonight at 8 and 9 on Sky Movies.
A British Army team is attempting to climb the West Ridge of Everest. To follow in our footsteps, go to armyoneverest.mod.uk.
Extreme protection that lets you go wild. Sure.
They wish to cure us, and I say we are the cure.
It's time we make our choice. If you're with us, then be with us.
Look at me, G. We can help you. We can fix it. We can make it like it was. Stay with me, please.
X-Men, The Last Stand.
And I will follow you, darling, if you ask me to. And I will follow you, darling, if you ask me to.
Indigo satellite navigation. Get there.
JJB Sports have something for every World Cup supporter. Be part of World Cup fever at JJB Sports.
Prepare for the FIFA World Cup with Gillette. Show your passion, your pride, your devotion. Gillette M3 Power Nitro. Push the button. Micro pulses are sent to the blades for Gillette's closest, most comfortable shave.
Sausage. Sausage. Who are we playing today, anyway? Do you know?
Dog and duck, I think.
Dog and duck.
Dog and duck.
I'll mark the dog.
Jack, when are you going to get this van clean?
The amount of money you pay to play and hire a van, this is the best I could do.
It's easy for you to say.
You don't like it, get out.
Carlsberg, official beer of England.
It's an honour to be captain of the Welsh national team for the Celebrity Soccer Sixes this year. These are the sort of skills that are going to take Wales to victory.
Celebrity World Cup starts Friday at 7 with live coverage kicking off Sunday at noon, Sky 1.
Round 13 in the Engage Super League, and have a look at this for a half-time score. The Huddersfield Giants, on the back of 5 successive losses, have the noses in front 6 points to 0 against the unbeaten table-topping St Helens, who are aiming for 13 straight victories to set a new club Super League record. They had set 12 straight before. That came to an end back in 1996 in round 13. What will happen in the second half here? Let's get back to our commentary team. Ian Millwood has rejoined Steve-O and Phil Clark in the commentary box, and they are alongside Bill Arthur for all the second half action.
Yes, St Helens 12 wins under their belt. They haven't lost away from home since May the 13th last year, believe it or not, when Dave Rotherham was caretaker coach. But at the moment, they've got a bit of work to do, trailing by 6 points to 0 against a Giants side who haven't won at home since March the 19th, when they beat Harlequins. So, great incentive for the Huddersfield Giants in this second half, but unusually St Helens were out well before the second half was due to kick off. You get the feeling that they're keen to get into action.
I think they wanted to get out of the dressing sheds mainly due to the fact I've never seen the Saints coach Daniel Anderson be as animated. He was furious, and he has every right to feel that way.
Well, it's Saints to get the second half underway, and already a sign of their intention as Wellens goes for the short kick-off and comes up with it. And then they get the penalty on top of that, because De Vere was interfering at that play the ball, just trying to slow things down.
Tremendous tactics, though. Super stuff there. There should have been someone in the middle. That is very poor as far as Huddersfield are concerned. Take nothing away from the full back. There was just nobody in the middle. The two that were up on the 10-metre line were way out in the centre position.
Holding, mate.
And they have paid the price. How's this for respect? Going for the two. Now that has surprised me.
I think we all looked at each other up here, Steve, and went, ooh, that's different. But then again, it's probably acknowledgement of how Huddersfield gone, and they probably said, let's score first after half-time. I'm not saying we all agree with the decision, but there is another side of the story.
Is this the third choice goal kicker now we're seeing for St Helens after Lyon and Long?
I think it's number 4.
Jason Hooper's in there as well, isn't he?
Jason Hooper was kicking before, Lyon was kicking along.
But it'll be 2 points to get Saints off the mark, get them on a roll. And 2 points it is from the captain. 6-2, the scoreline in the Giants' favour, but St Helens getting what they intended, obviously, at the start of this second half. Some points on the board, whether it was a try or a penalty.
Well, psychologically, you know, the quick kick-off, make the 10, they'd be confused, the Giants. You know, they'd be saying, oh, my God, we haven't got possession. Surely a kick into the corner, apply the pressure, bang. They'd have got them before they'd awoken for the second half. As it is, now they can just relax. Good kick deep, and then make sure that defence continues like we saw in the first half.
On the other hand, Saints get the ball back and immediately have an opportunity to examine the Giants' defence.
I think the Giants, Bill, will take a tremendous confidence from the first half in defence. Only 2 missed tackles in the game against St Helens. Shows you that they were doing a lot of the right things.
Goldthorpe, an uncharacteristic error, and he looks grim-faced, mutters an apology.
Now that answers your question, that they get the ball back. Yeah, they did, but they're in their own quarter.
I didn't know he was going to drop it.
No, I know, but there's always that possibility, isn't there? If you're going to come up with a knock-on, you're better off doing it down there and then you're on your own.
Robbie Paul pops the ball up for James Evans. Evans manages to hand off the tackle from Matty Smith. Here's Andy Raleigh. So immediately Saints are on the back foot again. They're on the front foot for the first couple of minutes here.
There's certainly more enthusiasm in the Saints defence, but can they keep them out?
McDonald driving towards the line, all 6'7" of him, but he's tackled by Kieran Cunningham. Good defence from Saints. Brad Drew spins the ball out wide to March. March pops it back up for De Vere, the try scorer. Just the 1 try tonight. That's the 5th tackle. Drew stabs the kick in. That's going to be too strong.
It's a disappointing set for the Giants. Only really 1 play in those 6 tackles when they really threatened the St Helens defence. The other ones were simple 1-man carries, which Saints are capable and comfortable of dealing with.
Saints in possession. Let's go down to the sidelines. One of the missing stars for them, Sean Long, is with Rod Studd.
Sean, what have you made of the first half?
Not too bad. You know what I mean? I think Huddersfield are playing pretty well. They're completing the sets, getting got a really good kicking game, making us come off our own line, and we seem to be struggling once we get into the final quarter. we're not controlling the ball, and we're looking at the last tackle option, which is a bit poor. But no, I think we just need a bit more composure in their half and stop giving away cheap penalties. And, when they're coming off their own line.
At least you're on the board now. That's got you some momentum.
Yeah, it's not like us though. Go for 2 points. I was a bit shocked by that decision. We normally go for the try, but like I said, we're on the board now, and I think just a bit more composure and keep our completion up. We should be all right.
Thanks, Sean. Enjoy the rest of the game as well.
And meanwhile, nothing going right for St Helens.
It's a nice option over the top, but I'm afraid the man that was going for it, they got the kick. Wellens went in front of him. And took the opportunity, definitely a knock on from the full-back.
Saints trying everything just to spark into life. The Giants keeping them at bay at the moment. Jim Gannon plays the ball. Paul Smith drives it up for the Giants. The Saints fans getting behind their side, trying to lift them. McDonald,
spicy as well.
Oh yes, Paul Anderson went in there, and McDonald has lost that ball. He's managed to keep a hold of it. He looked up and saw it disappearing over his head. Leon Price with the charge down. Drew trying to tackle back. Drew won't be able to. Teller will get the try.
Oh, just in time.
Did he get that ball down in the field of play? Phil Benton wants to see.
He certainly did, but only just. The arm was raised, a non-ball carrying arm. He gets it down just before it hits. Bang, there it is, there's confirmation. This will be TRY, but they had to have an element of luck. The charge down by Price.
Willie Tallow gets the try that levels the scores. And it was an opportunist effort. But the way things are going for Saints, they'll take whatever comes their way.
Well, full credit to Price with the charge down. He didn't as though he applied any pressure. It wasn't the best from Brad Drew, perhaps his first mistake in this game. And you take your chances, and they certainly did. Good thinking by Price, not only to just be alert, but also to realise the cover defence was coming to him. And as soon as he felt he was being grasped, he offloaded to this fella.
He was ever present this season so far, the former Canterbury Bulldog, and he's got his third try of the season. Now Paul Sculthorpe, successful with that penalty. Can he improve on Willie Tallow's first try since March the 3rd? What a welcome try it was for St Helens. And this to give an out-of-sorts Saints side the lead. And Sculthorpe has done just that. Well, he might be 4th, 5th choice goal kicker, but he's not bad.
He's not bad at all, is he, when he can kick them over like that?
Well, you see, this is just a mistake from Drew, because Price really is not applying the pressure. Just a leisurely little lunge, it's in his chest. And Drew got to him, and he knew he had the support.
That's the thing with St Helens, Bill. They're so good on turnovers of possession. Whether it be a kick charge down, a drop ball from their opposition, they react just that second quicker than their opponents. Tallow instinctively up there as soon as the ball went to ground, backing up Leon Price.
Another big hit. Andy Raleigh put the shoulder in there on Maury Fasavalu. Well, Huddersfield had led for so long since the 10th minute, until that Willie Tallow try and the Sculthorpe conversion put Saints in front. Now we'll see whether the Giants can come back. Anderson.
What do you feel the momentum has changed now, Bill? It's the Saints that have really lifted the spirit. And as I mentioned, a little bit of lady luck going their way. But will their kicking game be good in the second half?
Scott Moore with the kick.
It's a poor one too.
Welcomed into the arms of Martin Aspinwall, and Aspinwall, stuttering run, characteristic run across the field. Leon Price is out of action at the moment, is in back play, and he is not well. He's grimacing, holding his back. He's signalled to the bench that he needs a bit of attention.
Well, they push him out onto this left-hand side, not surprisingly.
And
the
they're
Giants
running
are
at
coming
him.
at him.
Andy Rally it was on the halfway line. Price bravely stood his ground, but he really is moving very gingerly at the moment.
That'll be a kick now and a good chase.
Drew hammers that one into the ground and it pops up very kindly for Paul Wellens, and then Wellens striding run towards the 20-metre line across the field then. Well tackled by Paul Smith. Gardner twisting and turning, pirouetting out of trouble. Leon Price still out there. He's getting a little bit of treatment on the run.
Looks to me perhaps it may be in the kidney region.
That's the difference there from St Helens in the first half. Wellens beat the first man, got a good play of the ball, good run from dummy half. Gardner, then Melion, mistake by Farsavalou.
Well, he's having a bit of a mare, I'm afraid, is the big forward, Farsavalou. No doubt he lost control of it.
Former Samoan Rugby Union international went without the ball that time. Second error of the game. So the Giants have possession again on the halfway line. Well, Saints might have dug themselves out of a bit of a hole, but it's not been convincing. Here's Robbie Paul, and Robbie Paul steps easily past one challenge. Still going, nobody in support. Evans arrived too late, but old school Robbie Paul there.
Tremendous work by the Kiwi.
Riley is tackled and tackled high. And I tell you what, poor Riley doesn't take kindly to that sort of treatment. Thankfully, he's at the bottom of that pile at the moment. He's a new man. He's mellowed. Well, he's a bit groggy.
Well, we'll see what happens over the next 10 minutes. He had a sly little look at the big fella, Anderson. It was more of a grab rather than a swinging arm. Either way, it was high.
It was Scott Moore, the culprit.
Yeah, but Anderson came in well over the top, didn't miss him either. And they're trying to bring the scores level.
It's as though these two know that there's never going to be much between them in this game. Another 18-16.
Well, strong memories from 8 weeks ago, isn't it? 2 points deciding that match, and hence the reason why both these teams keen to take the 2 points when they're on offer. Relatively simple kick for De Vere. It is from the commentary box anyway.
13th attempt, 13th success rather of the season for Michael De Vere. Levels the scores at 8 apiece.
Well, they fully deserve to come away with at least some points because the break from Robbie Paul. This is Robbie Paul of old. Step again. Good job they get back to it. Wilkin works hard. The old twinkle toes. Back. Memories made 5-6 years ago when you'd have to say he was really on top form.
Well, he won 4 Super League titles with the Bulls, of course, and great contributor to their success. And now a very important player on and off the pitch for the Huddersfield Giants is Robbie Paul. In the thick of it in their community work as well.
Great work by Kieran Cunningham.
Oh, and they've gone without the ball. It was Keith Mason.
Took his eyes off the football.
Wilkin has picked that one up. They could be punished for that. They could pay a heavy price, and Mason had his eyes on Matty Smith, who was coming in to make the tackle. James Graham.
We haven't seen much from the red-headed fella today. Maybe he'll come to the fore late in the game.
Anderson. Wellens decided to go himself, takes the tackle. Moore. Smith. Again, good defence from the Giants, just wrapping the man up. Hooper wanted to offload. Cunningham back across the field, and the Giants swarming defence at the moment. Graham. Good battling drive from James Graham, one of the form props in the competition according to his coach, and recognised by Brian Noble with his place in that Great Britain squad for the June the 27th international against New Zealand at Knowsley Road. High kick out wide. Melly went for it, and Melly got it. More by luck than judgment, I think, there, but here goes Hooper. Hooper up the middle. Almost there, Jason Hooper.
Wasn't that last tackle?
I thought it was the last tackle. Interception by James Evans. Well, James Evans might not have the pace. Has Martin Aspinwall. Aspinwall almost away from Francis Melly, and back comes Fozzard. Well, Fozzard went in high there. Aspinwall felt it. But the Giants have the opportunity here.
Well, justice has been done there because St Helens had an extra tackle when it should have been the turnover.
Here comes Riley. Riley trying to take him on at the middle. Fozzard doing everything to stop the man. Not sure it was all legal. Robbie Paul, Gannon up the middle. And the Saints' defence is really rocking at the moment.
And all of a sudden this game's come alive.
Robbie Paul showed to kick. Graham with a good tackle. Wrapped him up. That's the fifth.
Wait. Go.
Or is it? It is the fifth. Brad Drew. Drew stabs the kick in. Looking to turn them. Good defence from Paul Wellens.
Paul Wellens is amazing. His anticipation, a quality that you can't necessarily teach a player, is better than most. It saves him the pain of having to react to a situation. He instinctively puts himself where he thinks the ball will be, and more often than not he's right. But just looking at that Huddersfield defence a minute earlier when they're on the line against St Helens, it's amazing in sport how quickly things can turn around. 2 weeks ago they conceded 46 points when playing against Wigan, the bottom team in Super League. Then they just held the best side out for 6 tackles on their own line.
The captain leading from the front there, Paul Skelthorpe, with a great driving run to take his side up to halfway. James Graham takes him over halfway, but he's lost that ball. Play on, says Phil Bentham. It went backwards. It was a one-on-one steal from Brad Drew.
Hold. Go.
Here's Riley. Riley goes through. Now then, has he got the legs? Wellens is across to try and tackle him, and Wellens again the saviour.
Save the day there. They've got to link it out. All right, they've got the advantage.
Robbie Paul. Saints have got the numbers there now. Evans. Tallow with the tackle. Here's Keith Mason. Mason trying to offload that ball, but Fozzard was in there to wrap things up. Robbie Paul spoons that pass out to Brad Drew. Drew goes himself almost through. Had to be a good tackle. March, great defence, ball over the top, and they're in. Donlan with the try, and the Giants' enterprise paid off. Stuart Donlan, his 3rd try of the season. Saints thought they'd held them out, but eventually the ball goes wide and Donlan gets the try.
And fully deserved. They just kept the ball alive. Drew's had an absolutely tremendous game. They got back in numbers on March, but they couldn't catch him out wide. Donlan made them pay, and it all came about from the steal from the man himself, Brad Drew. And also just before that, remember, when Saints had the luxury of an extra play the ball, and it was Evans that put them in this position, and they just run out of numbers. Gardner had to come in. Donlan said, I'll take the 4. It's game on. They've had little to cheer about over the past few weeks.
And they're starting to take the advantage of the field position they enjoyed in the first half. Really is terrific play there now by the Giants. The support play for the man in possession, good enough to take advantage and score in the corner. Good try from Donlan.
Now De Vere looking for a 3rd success this evening. He's kicked 2 from 2. He's kicked that one as well. And the Giants ahead by 14 points to 8.
Just basic principle of rugby league. Keep the ball alive. Make sure you got that second phase. That's one thing that the Giants have shown tonight. You have not seen that second phase so often. Made famous by our guest, I would suggest, Ian Millwood. Saints always have got numbers after again and again. Tonight, it looks to be missing.
Well, it does at the moment, Steve. It's interesting. Both tries have come on Huddersfield's left-hand side. And that many times, Phil and I have looked at each other in the commentary and thought, they've got them there, Huddersfield, they've gone to their right. If they keep hammering around that left, they seem to be getting a lot of success. I've got to say, when you talk about support play and you talk about good attacking play and offloads too, Steve, a lot of it's down to anticipation and confidence and having the ability to say, listen, I'm going with me mate because I feel I'm going to get something out of it. At the moment, Huddersfield have got that. And at the moment, St Helens are waiting for someone to do it.
Well, that's good defence from the Saints, from Fozzard and from Roby. Driving Keith Mason back, former colleague, of course, Keith Mason. Ex-Wakefield and Melbourne Storm as well for a couple of years, Keith Mason. That ball thumped downfield into the arms of Paul Wellens.
John Sharp, the Huddersfield coach, will be absolutely livid with that.
He'll be livid with that as well, that he was allowed to escape the clutches of the first line of defenders. Here's Gardner.
They've got that 6-point lead yet again, and they need to just be pushing them back, making sure the ball hits the ground. It's okay, it doesn't matter if it goes into touch as long as it's way downfield. The way their defence is solid, they can feel confident to do that.
Here's James Graham, and Graham avoids one heavy challenge from Gannon and then wins the penalty.
Surely they'll go for the corner and tap it, not the two.
You know what, you don't even go for it, kick it out to give them time. You tap it and you're at them straight away. You make them give no time to regroup. Oh, no.
I can't believe this.
Well, that's consistent, though, with his decision earlier. 6 points behind, took the 2 points, didn't he, at the start of the second half. At least he's showing some consistency in his decisions as the captain.
Well, it's a mighty gesture of respect to this Huddersfield Giants side, to a side that's lost the last 5 games. Shows just what a battle Saints are having out there.
We've seen in 60 minutes, though, how the game of rugby league can turn around. A team who we were talking about possible for relegation, and they're looking like they could take the champions and the best side in this country at the moment, all the way to the last 80 minutes.
Well, the record is begging for Saints, but they 6 behind. Will they reduce it to 4? It's a pressure kick.
This guy knows all about pressure. Paul Skelthorpe hammers that one between the uprights. And the gap down to 4 points, 14-10 in favour of the Huddersfield Giants. Into the last quarter of the game.
It has been a problem for the Giants, Bill, over this season, that they just have that sort of wobble in the final 10-15 minutes. But I think the enthusiasm that they've shown already throughout this game will get them through. Concentration now is important. And that field position. They've got to make sure that their kicks don't go right down the throat, especially of the fullback Paul Wellens.
Well, they're desperate for the win. Wellens, he could have taken a gamble and seen whether that one was going to go out in the fall. He wasn't prepared to. The Giants without a win since March the 26th, when they beat the Castleford Tigers.
Great take. It would have been a gamble, I think would have bounced. Now then, Huddersfield cannot afford to lose their patience and lose control and give away a silly penalty.
Or their intensity. It's been a real fired-up performance from the Giants, which has made life uncomfortable for Saints, and they need to maintain that sort of enthusiasm. But Saints, you can guarantee, will come strong in the last quarter here.
What has been impressive, Bill, is the fact that the sliding defence that Huddersfield are pulling tonight, and that's a poor kick too, has been outstanding.
Bill, Huddersfield's record in the final quarter games this season is very impressive. Despite their run over the last 5 games, they've still finished games very strongly.
Well, I reckon they're going to need to here. The crowd upset with that tackle on Paul Riley, and Skelthorpe and Paul Riley exchanging pleasantries.
Got into it, and Riley went looking for him, and it was silly of Skelthorpe to lose his cool and retaliate. How many times do we see the retaliation get the penalty against them? There was no doubt in my mind that Paul Riley, with his arms down, certainly lodged his nose into Skelthorpe's head. And Skelthorpe said, I'll give you one. Fozzard says, well, I'll join in. I think more to be the peacemaker than anything, which perhaps is unusual.
And that was what the crowd were getting upset about.
I don't know why. I don't think that there's anything untowards about that one. This is the incident here. Skelthorpe had him more in a throttle, and that's the reason why he didn't like it. Watch this, plays the ball, And, oh.
Well, Paul Riley will be 30 next Wednesday, and I don't think he's mellowed an awful lot.
Well, the thing is, Riley shouldn't have done that anyway, but he was crafty enough to keep his arms down. Sculthorpe, with all the experience in the world, got sucked in.
Two very canny performers there, and one of them outfoxed the other. But it's the Giants again who are on the front foot here. Gannon just makes a couple of metres there, driving that ball forward. Cunningham and Graham with the tackle. Robbie Paul now. Paul pops the ball up. Oh, and a complete lack of communication there. James Evans went one way, Martin Aspinall another way, and the ball into touch.
They've had a lot of success on this right side, Ian, and maybe that's the obsession with coming this way. Between Evans and Aspinwall, those two are responsible for a quarter of the tries that the Giants have scored this season. And I think that's the temptation to keep coming to those guys who've come up with tries when they needed them.
Yeah, I can understand your stats and all that, Phil, but I can also understand that there's a basic in rugby league, you run where they ain't, and they had an equal number or even more defenders on that side, St Helens, and that's where your playmakers, your 7 and 6, your decision makers have got to say, look, on our left-hand side, we've got a couple more numbers, we're going to go there, regardless if that's the side we've scored more tries on. You know, you've got to play where they ain't.
Well, that's a worry for the Giants, because Jim Gannon having that knee check, that right knee, and he's only just come back from an operation on that knee, so they'll be a bit worried. But he's said he's okay to carry on. The Saints need to get themselves up the other end of the field. It's not desperation times yet, but the clock is ticking.
Well, there's one man capable of doing that. It's this man at dummy half.
And Phil Bentham is, I think, going to send De Vere to the blood bin now, or ask for some. Oh,
one of those games,
some treatment for that.
Yeah.
And that's not going to respond, I don't think, to just a little swab.
No, that's
a Stitch's job.
Yeah. Needle and thread. Pretty good claret.
We'll never stop it. We'll never stop it.
You can see there's no way in the world they can do anything on the field of play, so off he goes.
Shouldn't they bring the staple gun on? That didn't Michael De Vere have the staple gun treatment in State of Origin? But they just got the staple gun out and ping, ping, ping into his forehead. That was sorted out.
Ah, the game's improved from our day.
St Helens just outside the Giants 40. Fuzzard does well to offload. Cunningham does well to take it, because that ball was fired at his midriff.
The last 6 offloads in this period of 6 tackles. I mean, only on the 4th tackle, 6 offloads, and it's the offloads which could cause the trouble for the Giants as that we're going to the last 15.
Sculthorpe, Vinnie Anderson. Anderson coming back in field. Cunningham, it's on the last, so Cunningham eventually just hoists the kick. Aidy Gardner chasing that for all he's worth, and Donlan did ever so well there, because suddenly Aidy Gardner was upon him.
That could be the match winner, Donlan's take, with just one arm as well. Oh, that is wonderful. Under a lot of pressure. Crowd are lifting for this one now.
The Giants,
they've not taken
withstood that particular.
Step, have they?
They've withstood that assault. We've got 2 Gardners out there now. I think Matt Gardner is on the field, younger brother of Saints AD. Matt wearing 21 for the Huddersfield Giants. Drew getting himself out of trouble, puts the kick into the arms of Francis Melly. Not the best kick. There's another Saints player down injured. It's Jason Hooper, I think, just getting up very gingerly. Meanwhile, let's go down to the sidelines, get more injury news from Rod.
Well, Michael De Vere is being not stitched up, Bill, but being patched up. He's been bandaged up and vaselined up. He's like a weary boxer on the sidelines. But I think he will be back on in a minute or 2 for Huddersfield.
And De Vere has been crucial so far tonight. 3 goals and a try.
It's going to take something special to break down this Giants defence now.
But surely,
maybe the option of the chip over the top, something different.
This is the side that has something special, surely. You don't go 12 games victorious at the start of the season.
In the past, though, players like Long, Lyon and Price have bailed them out when they've been under pressure and in trouble. Who can come up with this big play when they need it?
I think that was shown when Kieran Cunningham was forced into doing the kicking game.
Kick hoisted wide by Matty Smith and too strong.
And he knows that's why he's missing Sean Long. Not injured, just giving him the rest.
Bill, I think Phil hit it right on the head. He said, gee, there's a lot of offloads coming in the St Helens game. Cunningham and Roby and Hooper and Scomball are really looking for the ball now. It's vital now that Drew steps up the mark. He's been outstanding tonight, but he gets the ball and the kick deep into St Helens and makes them come off the line, because I've got to say the refs had a skinny 10 metres tonight. Huddersfield can control them down that end, but they'll have less yardage to travel. St Helens to get that victory they're earning for.
Coming up to 12 minutes remaining here at the Gal Farm, and the Huddersfield Giants, 5 defeats on the spin, lead St Helens by 14 points to 10. Saints looking for a 13th consecutive victory in the competition this year. And the ball has come loose there, and the penalty goes against St Helens. Evans looked imploringly at the touch judge. The touch judge agreed.
Willie Taylor was there. Francis Melly gets the hand in, but I think it's Taylor that eventually reaps it, and he does.
You're right.
Gave himself up, didn't he?
Yep. Looked back at the ref and said, I'm sorry. Now, composure, the Giants, and they can see them home. It's been a good effort by their forwards, led wonderfully by the skipper, Brad Drew. He's had a big game as well as Robbie Paul. He's done his work.
Paul Jackson plays that ball. Here is Drew to Paul March now. March pops that up for Paul Smith. Smith is tackled on the 20-metre line. March once more. Jackson slips away from the tackle of James Graham, but immediately brought down by Jason Hooper and Kieran Cunningham. March stabs a little kick in, it's a good one. Anderson is under pressure, the ball's still loose, and Paul March pounces. And I think the try will be awarded. It is.
Yeah, after the kick through. Yeah.
Great.
Or is it?
Well, they're onside.
Bob Connolly has the decision to make.
He's got to see whether a Huddersfield hand has knocked on. It's a great kick through by Paul March.
It's Martin Aspinwall. Does he get involved, Steve-O?
It's Vinnie Anderson who gets that touch.
If Anderson gets to the ball first, and that's going forward, that's play on. That'll be deemed that Anderson has come up with the knock-on first, so therefore it's play on. And Aspinwall, watch the hand. Vinnie Anderson is knocking the ball forward. This will be TRY. I'll put the house on it.
How does it end up going forward then? That's another point.
Because it ricochets off Aspinwall.
Well, is that a knock-on off Aspinwall?
No, it can't be, because you've got to go the first knock-on, which is Anderson. This will be a try.
I'm going to go to try here, but I'm just not totally convinced that Aspinwall doesn't touch it, but I'm saying...
he does touch it.
Yeah, but if he touches it, it can't be a try, Steve-O.
I'm not so sure.
I'm banking on that Anderson has gained all the momentum.
Is it Anderson's left hand there that's sweeping the ball back into the in goal?
Aspinwall's hands are down below the level of the ball.
Why haven't we got a camera in the ball? That's what we need.
It's been thought of.
I'll get the coin out, but I'm going to go for TRY. How's that?
I tell you what, this is a huge decision.
This could end Saints' winning streak. Aspinwall's hands are below the ball.
I think that
hand coming over the top is Vinnie Anderson.
Maybe Anderson has missed it.
Yeah, see, this is what he's looking for. He wants to see if Aspinwall's touch it. If he touches
he does touch it.
Well, if he touches it, it's not going to be a try then, Steve-O.
But I thought perhaps Anderson hit it first.
If he plays it on,
it's a try.
It's going to be a try, because that's what they do, to see if they've grounded it. So I think we will see it.
Bob Connolly has the decision to make. Has March got the try? He has. Paul March with a try that has the Giants fans absolutely jubilant. His first of the season. Vinnie Anderson cannot believe that decision.
Well, it's controversial, to say the least. According to the rule book, the kick was superb, it fully deserved it. Vinnie Anderson was messing around. And Marge says, I started it, boys, and I am going to finish it. Why not? Anderson went to try to get it, perhaps. He should have been booting that way down towards Leeds.
So Michael De Beer is off the field with that head injury. Brad Drew will take over the kicking duties. Oh! That could be critical. 18-10 the scoreline.
Well, for the Giants to lose this game now, they have got to come up with a silly penalty or a huge mistake. They can't afford a mistake at the kickoff. Their hearts must be pumping.
You know, that's the great thing about rugby league, isn't it? You come to this game, you think, no Chris Thorman for Huddersfield, how are they going to come up with the points? And the man selected to replace him at stand-off, Paul March, puts his hand up, and his determination to chase that kick through on the last tackle meant that he deserved the try, whatever the final outcome.
There's the other Gardner, Matt Gardner, with the run for the Giants.
To be fair, the Giants have outplayed Saints today, and they fully deserve their win. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, and St Helens for years have been past masters of snatching games in the final minutes, in fact in the final seconds, but I think they're going to be denied.
Thanks, Wayne.
Well, there's still 9 minutes on the clock. Gardner, AD that is, harried by Martin Aspinwall. And that has been a characteristic of this Huddersfield Giants performance. They just haven't let Saints settle, haven't given them any room.
An interesting tactic by John Sharp today. Last week, Brad Drew was their best player at dummy half. They tried it. It's a forward pass here. The interesting thing, Bill, was last week, Brad Drew was their best player at dummy half, playing 9. Today, he's played as a first receiver. Give him a little bit more width, but giving him an outstanding game from Drew at first receiver.
Scott Moore, the 21-year-old, the 18-year-old, I beg his pardon.
You can't blame him, Billy. He's trying to instill some sort of opening out wide, but the Giants are all over the place.
Stuart Jones just having a little bit of treatment in back play. It's the reason for the hold-up. Jones joins the scrum now. The Giants have head and feed. Well, another try here, and surely this game is beyond even a Houdini side like St Helens.
Maybe the 1 point might be a good option as well.
I'll tell you what, you don't want the 1 point, because they'll get a short kick-off and it'll give them a chance to have a crack at your try line. Stay down there.
Stuart Jones, former Saint, of course. Jones. Shoulder to the wheel. Here's Wayne McDonald. McDonald, legs pumping, and then he's going back where he came from.
Go.
Robbie Paul comes again towards this right-hand side.
Well done, James.
And Saints read the play. It's on the last. Will they go for the 1 point? And they get it. Brad Drew, every little helps.
Steve, you've got him wired up. I see you talking your microphone there. You're telling him what to do.
Listen, I don't have to tell this lad what to do. He has been nothing short of superb. Man of the match by a country mile, as far as I'm concerned. It's not in my hands, of course. It's Dave Hatfield and the British media.
Steve-O, right again. Well, right. That short kickoff has come up for St Helens. A knock-on by the Giants. Aspinwall getting in a tangle there, and the head and feed will go to St Helens.
Well, Ian Millwood did say they'd go for the short, and they did, and they've got it. Surely they can't get out of this. I think that 1 point could prove very crucial indeed.
Brad Drew's first drop goal for the Huddersfield Giants, the 7th of his career. And it could give the Giants the win they've been waiting since early March for.
2, move, hold, go.
An unlucky 13 is looming for St Helens, but they're not out of it yet.
And this is no fluke. It's been a huge transformation.
Cunningham, a try here and the alarm bells would be ringing for the Giants. They're just a couple of metres short of that try line now. Cunningham will go for the solo try. Has he got the ball down? I'm sure he can't. He's held up, says Phil Benton. Will be the play the ball. Sculthorpe. Graham for the try line. There is hope yet for the Saints, but Graham rushes back. Who's taking the kick, he says.
Well, they've kept him quiet throughout this game. Came at the right moment. Neat delayed pass from Paul Sculthorpe, and it was sufficient. March couldn't get to him in time. It's the first real opportunity that is seen light through this Giants defence. He's a talent. This is real pressure now. Can he convert? Turn it from 4 into 6.
Sculthorpe then casually boots the 2 points.
Oh dear, Bill.
19-16 the scoreline in the Giants' favour. The clock running down. The Giants ambling back for the restart. Phil Benton calls time off. James Graham got 2 tries last weekend against Wakefield. And that try, with just 4 minutes on the clock, could yet get Saints out of the mire here at the Gal Farm Stadium.
Bill, you watch where all the momentum comes from Saints. They'll come from Roby and Cunningham around the dummy half area. They'll use their big men like Graham at the charge at him, and then they'll jump around there, and they'll just make the play the ball so quick.
How do you pick a man of the match from a game like this? Dave Hadfield.
Well, it's fitting that it should be Graham's try that's brought Saints back into it. He's been a standout for them. But we think it's the midfield trio of Huddersfield who've been outstanding tonight. We could have picked any one of them, March, Paul or Drew, and by a short head in the end we've gone for Brad Drew.
So the Giants captain gets a well-earned man of the match award. But here comes St Helens. They're not done yet, and Graham manages to offload. This is desperation time for the Giants now. 3.5 minutes to go.
Bill, in many ways, Saints don't need to look to win it in this set. Just get into a position with a great kick on the end of this, and then work your socks off in defence to contain Huddersfield for the next set of possession when you be closer to the Giants' line.
Well, Matty Smith hoists that ball. It finds Gardner, and Gardner could yet turn this. Oh, he's lost the ball, and March has picked it up. He went without the ball, did A.D. Gardner, and he, and the look on his face.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. He knows perhaps that the chance is gone.
Well, he looks like a Mexican bandit, and he's just been robbed.
He's okay.
On the halfway line with the Giants, you know, this is the first set that the Giants have had since that drop goal.
And they look nervous, don't they?
They'll make it Mark, just get into a good position, and they'll kick directly.
Crabtree
for the touchline.
Oh, that was high from Nelly. Oh, and that could be the game.
Yeah, that is the game. Don't worry about that. Silly play. No intention of tackling the man. Just whacked him. And with it has gone any chance, I feel, of Saints hanging on and winning and continuing over the record. And I think Daniel Anderson is well aware of that too.
Do you know there's still a chance? Somebody like a Roby is quick thinking, interception, they've got the pace, and I know John Sharp is aware of that.
That's the coach whose whose losing streak is about to come to an end.
Yeah, but I mean, he would subscribe to the theory. If he loses control of his emotions, what chances he's got of keeping a control of his team's emotions, Bill?
I'd still like to send him a can of laughing gas. It would help at
19-6 the scoreline. A minute and a half to go here. Crabtree
just
battling. He's still going.
Will Paul do a dummy and go on his own?
Robbie Paul running around and going nowhere at the moment, but still in possession, Robbie Paul, and soaking up a few more seconds.
Vital seconds as well. He'll be slow to play the ball. He's an experienced campaigner.
Just 3 points in it as Matt Gardner takes the ball up. And the Giants fans chewing their nails to the quick. What a way to end your losing streak, to beat the runaway Super League leaders, and how Leeds will be enjoying this. 4 points behind after their victory last night.
Great effort from Brad Drew. He knows they will take their time to form the scrum. Saints, they're already packed in, so that means that the referee will take time off. He's just done that. Though I'm not so sure that the Saints have formed that scrum.
47 seconds on the clock.
They formed it and then they just broke up to catch the breath. They know they've got 5 tackles possibly here.
And a great drive by the Giants, but almost counterproductive because there was nobody there for a moment to halt the break of Roby. Here comes Hooper.
Just going to test it out now, keep it alive, try anything.
Caution to the wind. Do you remember Chris Joint? At these times like these, I think of Chris Joint and that fantastic try against the Bulls in the playoffs. But there's no Sean Long out there. Just short of the halfway line. 15 seconds as Maury Fasavalu goes across the field. Scott Moore. Talau is tackled. On the 40-metre line, the 5th tackle. 2 seconds to go. The last kick of the game. The chip over the top. And the man of the match is there to collect that ball. Brad Drew takes the tackle and fittingly has the last touch of the game. An inspirational performance from Brad Drew, a man of the match performance, leading his side to an unthought of victory against St Helens. And the Giants have well and truly ended the drought. A man of the match performance from Brad Drew, who is with Rod.
Brad, it was highly appropriate. You had the ball in your hands at the end of the match. How does it feel to produce the shock of the season?
Oh, I wouldn't say shock of the season. It's probably good compared to the way we've been going. It's a great result for us, but we're not a bad team. We've hit a bit of a slump in the last 5 weeks, which everyone knows. And last week we took steps in getting out of that slump, and tonight we produced some form that we showed earlier in the year, so I think it was a fair result tonight.
What was the key to producing that performance?
Just working hard on the training field. We've worked on a lot of things in training this week and the last couple of weeks, so just everyone working for each other in the game. We made it easy tonight. It wasn't easy, I should say, but it was just a good result around.
Thanks, Brad. Enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you very much.
Well, Brad Drew, a deserved Gillette man of the match performance from him. He's been outstanding over the past couple of weeks for the Giants, and who would have thought that once again, 10 years on, round 13 proves unlucky for Saints. Under Sean McRae in 1996, they were aiming for 13 straight wins in Super League. They came unstuck back then against Wigan Warriors. Tonight they've come unstuck again in round 13 with Daniel Henderson at the helm and the Giants. What a victory for them. Ian Millwood, well, you almost sensed it, didn't you? Early doors, they chose a number of wrong options. It wasn't the Saints we've become used to over the past couple of months.
No, they didn't adapt well enough to the players they had out, and key players also too. But Huddersfield were the best team by a long way. Just in all the little aspects of the game, just their chase, their desire, everything, their application was outstanding. And it's interesting, Brad Drew, man of the match, last week he was their best player, and he talks about working hard and sticking at it. He's the bloke who led them, and his kicking game was outstanding today. He played in a different role. He didn't play a dummy half as he normally does. He played as a first receiver. I thought he did it really well, and his vision was good. His kicking game was very good, and he always created doubt. Unfortunately for St Helens, they didn't have that composure they normally have, and at times they wanted to rush things, which wasn't their way, which probably reflected a couple of young players in key areas.
I'd hate to be the team that comes up against Saints next week, and that will be a massive event for them, I'm sure. Brief apology, we haven't got time to bring you those highlights from Perpignan Warrington, though. A comfortable victory for them. What we can do is remind you what's coming up on Sky Sports over the next week and all of the action. It starts with Speedway from Poland Grand Prix. That's on Sky Sports 2. That is now. And next, the Spanish football doubleheader, Barcelona Espanyol, followed by Valencia Atletico Madrid on Sky Sports 1, plus US Tour Golf, the Wachovia Championship on Sky Sports 3. Also coming up, NRL Sunday, the Roosters tackle the Bulldogs. That's on Sunday, 10 a.m, Sky Sports Extra. And next weekend, Saints, can they bounce back? They take on Warrington. That should be a cracking match. 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 3. And next Saturday, Wakefield Trinity Wildcats are at home to Wigan Warriors, 7 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. Well, what a weekend. Well done to Huddersfield Giants. They have slayed the Saints and St Helens. I'm sure they will get their house back in order sooner rather than later. Thanks to all of our commentary team here and, of course, to Ian Millward. Until next time, I'll see you again NRL Sunday. Goodbye for now.
The Super League on Sky Sports in association with Stan James, the sports bookmaker, whatever your sport.
Ricky, the American Dream. The hitman now tops the bill in the US for the first time.
The dream is made real!
And takes on another world champion, Luis Colazzo.
Devastating!
But first from Sheffield, a world title defense for Clinton Woods. Next Saturday, 10 p.m, Sky Box Office. Orders 7 days in advance for $14.95. See Channel 755 or call 08705 800 888.
Pay in a cheque at other banks, and they'll keep you waiting days before you earn interest. But not at Lloyds TSB. We're the first and only bank to pay you interest from the day you pay in to the day your bills get paid. So you could earn over 150 days more interest.
We could tell you it's all about craft, tradition, and heritage. But we know you'll only notice one thing. The taste. Magno's Irish Cider. Time dedicated to you.
Right then. Energy prices are on the rise again. And we at npower are not going to sit around and do nothing. It's time for action. So here's the plan. The npower price fix. We could fix your gas and electricity prices until 2009 with no cancellation fee whatsoever. Go get 'em, chaps. You and npower, happy together.
Britain's new charity lottery has arrived. Why so glum, minstrel?
Oh, miss me lottery numbers again.
What you need is a new lottery. Behold.
You missed.
Error, Coco. In the new lottery, you don't need to match 6. The nearest numbers win.
Tea, anyone?
Have you got a lemon puff, man?
The first Monday lottery draw is Monday. Play online now at playmonday.com.
Click here. Not bad, eh?
Hey, come here, give us a guess.
It's so easy switching your home insurance, so why not visit Norwich Union Direct at quotemehappy.com.
Bev! Kev!
Kev! Bev!
Oh, I've always liked this model, Kev. Me too, Kev. MOT, Kev. 6 months, Kev. You couldn't come down on the price, Kev. I wish I could, Kev.
Why are you selling it, Bev? We just fancy something a bit whizzier, Bev.
With an AA car loan, the typical rate is just 6.2% APR, so you might be surprised how much you can afford.
Nice car.
Oh, thanks. We've always wanted one of these.
To get more car for your money, call 0800 374 999 or go online. Call now and you could also get a free 6-month AA car warranty.
If you need careers advice that's tailored to fit you, call the Learn Direct advice line.
Hello, is that Learn Direct?
Yes, it is. How can I help you?
We can now help you with things like improving your CV or preparing for an interview.
Good luck with your new job.
So you can make the most of your skills. For careers advice, call 0800 100 900.
Close your eyes, listen to your heart, and think. Come on, do yourself a favor and think big. All this from 7594. New Grande Punto. Open your eyes.
If you're losing interest in your bank, switch to Lloyds TSB.
Tomorrow, live football. Manchester United Charlton at 2 on Sky Sports 1. Arsenal Wigan at 3 on Sky Sports 3. And live cricket. Surrey Somerset at 10:30 on Sky Sports 2.
This is Sky Sports Live.
Champions. Smiles all round. Job done. Well done. To Barcelona. Eto'o. The champions score. Kings of Catalonia. Champions of Spain. That was midweek, of course. Party time on Saturday night in the Catalonian capital. They're celebrating, and how they deserve it. From top to bottom, the boardroom right down to the stars, and the kids too. It is a party, a title-winning party. And it's Barca against Espanyol, live from the Camp Nou. What a night in Barcelona. It's a championship party mixed with a local derby. Things are never done by halves in Catalonia. Good evening. We've got a game and a half for you tonight, quite literally. It's Valencia against Atletico Madrid later, but before that, we're at the Camp Nou for the second half of Barca against Espanyol. Jerry Armstrong's here. He's been watching the first half with us. It's been an interesting one, and Barcelona are in front at half-time in this derby. Wonderful flowing football that led to the goal. Ed Mielson included in the side tonight. Miguel Angel Latina, of course, the Espanyol manager, said perhaps Barca are even more dangerous with nothing to play for. They're relaxed, he said. They'll be better. And they have been. Just look at this for a move. Ronaldinho. More of him to come in the first half. Eto'o involved as well. But it was an own goal. Harke, who gets Barca's 76th league goal of the season. Unfortunate for him. But they fought back. Zabaleta forced Junqueira to have a chance. Eto'o, though, beforehand had caused some problems at the back, looking for his 25th goal, of course. Chasing the Pichichi. Here's Zabaleta's effort. Barca dispossessed. No Victor Valdez tonight. Junqueira in goal instead. And here's Ronaldinho again involved from a corner. Luis Garcia off the line. With 5 minutes to go in the first half. But they've put up a good old scrap of Espanyol. 0-0 in this fixture, of course. Luis Garcia this time. Forced another good save. Good touch, good shot. Good goalkeeping too. But look at this. Just watch this. Watch the eyes. Watch the eyes. See ya. Almost 2-0. Henrik Larsson looking for a place in the Champions League final, of course. And on that form, very good chance he will start. Jerry, what did you make of that first half? Yes, they're celebrating. Yes, they're relaxed. But as the Espanyol coach said, when they're relaxed, they're very, very good indeed.
Party time that last minute with Ronaldinho. But they've dominated the possession. They've had probably the better chances. Although, you know, there's been 2 or 3 chances for Espanyol. And the young deputy goalkeeper, Jarque, has made 2 or 3 decent saves. But there's a mood of confidence about Barcelona. They could have. Eto'o should certainly have had a goal. He was massively involved in the opening goal with the deflection, but the run he made round the outside of Ronaldinho, he must have run 20 yards to get round the outside of him and whip the ball back in again. But it's been an interesting game. A lot more at stake, obviously, for Espanyol than there is for Barcelona, and that's one of the reasons why Latina, the coach, is playing 5 at the back. You've got Sergio Sanchez, you've got Lopo, you've got Jarque, the 3 of them playing as centre backs. You've got David pushing on the left hand side, and it's been an interesting first half, but it's not conclusive yet. And look out for Espanyol hit them again, especially when you've got Tamudo up front.
Absolutely.
Goal scorer.
41 points between these two sides at the start of the night. 2 points off relegation, Espanyol. Big night for them, as Jerry said. Unfortunate to concede their own goal, but they've been pulled apart in this move, hadn't they?
They have, and I mean, it's a fabulous piece of football, really, from Barcelona. You look at the build-up, and Mielsen starting it off here as the anchor man in midfield, and it's patient possession. Xavi, good to see him back in the side. Belletti, the right wing-back or right-back. Another little nutmeg, bit of good fortune here. Now, there's the pass to Ronaldinho. And Ronaldinho, now look at Eto'o running around the outside of him. And he's done really well, and a deflected cross hits Jarque.